they're really good. I wouldn't consider them geniuses, but I consider them great coaches that just don't lose. Then you got your great young coaches that are maybe a year or two away from being considered a genius. Sean McVay, Sean McDermott, Kyle Shanahan, Brian Flores, Matt LaFleur, Mike Vrabel, and Kevin Stefanski. Those are the younger coaches that are like a year or two away from being geniuses. They've shown plenty of promise. Sean McVay made a Super Bowl. Sean McDermott led the Bills to 2 13-3 seasons the last 2 years. Kyle Shanahan led the Niners to a Super Bowl. Brian Flores led the Dolphins to the playoffs almost this year. And he will do it this year. Matt LaFleur is 26-6. Mike Vrabel has the Titans headed in the right direction. Kevin Stefanski led the Browns to the playoffs in God knows how long. Then you have the great older coaches. Ron Rivera took the Redskins football team, Washington to the playoffs. When they really aren't necessarily a playoff roster when you have Alex Smith as your quarterback. Bruce Arians won the Super Bowl this year. And Frank Reich could go into... Frank Reich is the good older coach, He gets the close to the playoffs. You could also put him in as a coach that just doesn't lose. In like tier 2 with Tomlin and Carroll, but I think he needs a couple more, maybe a year or two, and then I can put him there. But yeah, you got Arians, Reich, and Rivera. Those are your great older coaches. Then you have the coaches that used to be good. No longer have been. I think Mike McCarthy and, maybe Gruden. Both those guys won a Super Bowl, but a while ago. They don't seem to be good coaches anymore, in my opinion. I understand they don't have the best situation right now, in any sense. But that's my tiers for NFL coaches right now. And, I don't know how I feel about McCarthy right now. I feel like he used to be a good coach when he had Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not saying Dak Prescott's a bad quarterback by any means. I'm just saying he's not an Aaron Rodgers. He's not necessarily a cheat code, But, I don't know. I think we're going to see this season if he's a good coach or not. Because last year, I think he kind of got screwed over with Dak's injury. So I think we'll see this year if he's still a good coach. All right. Wow. I am almost done with this. This is crazy. Okay. So multiple quarterback battles are still going on during training camps. Now, really, what it might come down to? If they're still going on, it's clearly a tough decision. It might come down to maturity. I've said this before. I said it in my first episode. Jameis Winston, I think it was a maturity problem. The reason I'm not down on him this year is because Winston is going to have Sean Payton as his coach. I don't think Sean Payton will let him go astray, Cam, early in his career, was not mature. Even his MVP year wasn't that mature, And Baker, in his sophomore year, was not mature at all either. He seemed to be more interested in commercials than football, so. And then Drew Lock currently isn't the most mature. So, It might come down to a maturity battle. It's tough to call, though. So, I mean, I still think with the Saints, it's Taysom Hill. I meant Jameis Winston, my bad. Because I don't think Taysom Hill is necessarily a quarterback. And I said Winston can be a good quarterback. He has the talent. The problem is that he is, he had turnovers in the preseason game, so I don't know if he is necessarily better, but, we'll see what happens there. Alright, so the Giants corner, John Mara, expects more from the Giants this season, and they have historically had smart owners. Their only hole in the roster, in my opinion, is their own line. Nick Sirianni, or what am I saying? That's the next thing, my bad. I think their defense is good. I think their offense is starting to build up. I like Joe Judge. I think their O-line is a little rough, though. I don't know if that's just me or, I just don't think their O-line is good enough. I think they go 8-9 this year. Finish behind the Cowboys and the football team. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Giants. But I do think that they have a shot to be better, and they could win the division this year, actually. But I don't know what's going to happen down there. They're definitely going to be better than last year, though. To add to his point, they shouldn't be worse than last year. That wouldn't make sense. All right. So Nick Sirianni is learning from Bill Belichick during the joint practice with the Patriots. Now, I like that he's approaching Bill Belichick, and honestly, being an NFL head coach is not very easy. I will give him that. That's why I will give him credit. And I don't think I could do it. So, it's not very easy. Honestly, what he has to do right now, what he has to work on is getting good at the podium. Because I think anyone can agree that his first press conference wasn't too good. Alright. So that's actually it for today's podcast. It was a little boring, so I apologize for that. But, I still think it was a good podcast today. There should be a better one tomorrow. But until then, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. See you tomorrow when I should have a much more entertaining podcast.